right, so I already have my image, and you can go to Google and grab your image. So one thing that I usually do is when I'm searching for a specific image, I make sure to put HD behind it just so I can get a high definition picture, which I have. I am working on my Mac, so I just got my picture or my image and just dragged it into Illustrator. So from Illustrator, what you want to do is make sure you do a duplicate copy. So that duplicate copy can be the one where if you make any mistakes or if you're doing any adjustments and you just don't like the image or how it turned out, you'll be able to have that image and the main image source, I should say. So you can be able to go back into it, and if you need to do any type of reconstructing the image again. But on my Mac, I'll just press Alt and then slide this down, and then I'll have a double image here. So what you want to do is just make sure you got one of the eyeballs turned off. That way you'll just be working on your image that you have at hand and pretty much go from there. So the next step, and this is Illustrator, so it's a paid version if you don't know. Honestly, I either use Illustrator or Photoshop. I tend to go to Illustrator more because it is less simple, especially if you're just trying to do a ABC kind of step compared to Photoshop, just working with all different type of layers. So I would say just starting out, this would be a good app to use. There are other free versions of apps that you can use as well to do like an image trace, but this is something that I use. But we'll just go straight to it. So currently in Illustrator, it has it popped up there. So you can go to image trace, and what's going to happen is going to put it on a default version of it, which we don't want this. So you'll go to image trace, the properties, and you'll click this panel here and it'll open up. From there, you'll have different presets and you'll have different options you will use. Some you probably don't use it at all. With the presets, you'll have different options here: 6 colors, 16 colors, high fidelity, or low. The ones that I usually use are low fidelity, high fidelity, or 16 colors, and it just really depends on the reference of the image. So let's start out with using low fidelity. Alright, so we got a low fidelity, and the colors that it has created from the image is 20. So this piece is probably the one that you're going to be looking at more and adjusting. So with the color option, you want to have less, but sometimes you may get an image that you have to do more on it. So the reason why you want less is based on how many colors are broken up. That's the amount of yarn that you're going to need, or the colors that you're going to have to get. So sometimes that can be a little bit complex. So you just want to make sure when your image is broken up that you have something to where you can be able to trace good, but also not go through a ton of yarn. So in this case, it has it on 20, which honestly, this is a good image. I'm gonna make it a little bit zoom in. So this is a good image to start out with, just to be honest. But say for instance, just from what I was referencing to, just with the colors, no, I want to do less. So this is how you can change it in this box. So you can click here and you can do the amount of colors that you want. Say you just want, let's do 10. So what it does is when you click outside of that box, it's going to get that image and break it up based on just the number of colors that you've chosen. So this is going to be 10. Now this is probably, you have the dark, and then it goes to different skin tones up into the light, into the middle. So this is about 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you got your pink. Then you got this gray color. So ultimately, it'll break it up in this scheme. Now starting out, this would be perfect for you to be able to do an image. Now say if you do like this image and you're like, hey, this is it. Now you can also, if you want to bring it up a bit more. So say if you want something, if you want to be a little bit complex, let's see how it looks with 75. I'm going to put it in there so you can just be able to see. All right, so you see the difference with 75? You can barely see any type of tracing image. There's no type of reference, and that's going to make it really complicated. That's not what you want starting out for your image, especially when you start to do portraits. It's going to be really hard to capture like that detail. So you want something that is definitely still going to have detail in it, but also that's not going to be too complex just to start out. So let's bring it back down to 10. All right, so you got your 10 and you're like, hey, you know what? I like this image. And another thing that you can do as well, so when you go to view and trace and result, if you see this little eyeball here, you can click on it and it actually shows you the source image. So you can be able to match it up if anything is out of place, or just showing highlights and shadows. That's pretty much what this image is doing for you to break it up. If you want to, and it's different tracing results. So like for instance, you just wanted the outlines. It'll show you the outlines to it. So you can pretty much do this and make an outline and do your colors from there and grab your source. But for me, I always choose the trace and result, and if I need any type of guidance, then I'll just click here just to match it up. That leads me to the next piece. You see how this is a different color, but that part is supposed to be white for the eye. What you can do is you can make a little reference to it. Now you can put it on when you put your frame up, you can just go ahead and make that little piece so you can know that it is the actual eye piece. That's what I would do, just to make a little eye part right there and just eyeball it the best way you can. That's probably the easiest. Or what you can do, and this is friendly, so I'm not going to make it too complex, you can grab the pencil and then just really outline it. Alright, so say if you wanted it like that, so you can just be able to see like, hey, this is going to be my image source. Wrangle it up. And you can adjust it to best fitting. So you can do something of that nature. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it just really just gives you a image of reference so that you don't forget. But if you're like drawing it out, and I would say just off the bat, go ahead and draw out everything and then just go ahead and put the W for white so you can know just to put that piece on there. But you can make it any color that you want if you want to get crazy with it. This is the fun part about Illustrator that you can be able to do. So say you like the image and you're done with it. Once you're done with the image that you like, and we'll just move this for sake. Say you like the image, what you want to do is click out of here. Make sure you click on your image and then click expand. So once you click expand, you'll see it come up this way, and then you'll just click out of it. So boom, you got your image there and you're pretty much done with the process. All the other stuff comes later. Sometimes you can go to effect gallery and you can do like different little styles and colors, but honestly, just starting out, I would just use what I have here and just pretty much go along with it. But say for instance, you want to change the colors on it. If you want to do something different, you can click the direct selection tool, go into the light. If you wanted to change that, this is, and say for instance, you're like, hey, I don't want to use a bunch of yarn. I'm going to make one section the same color. You can click here. Once you click it, it'll highlight, and then you'll just click on it. You'll use your eyedropper tool, and then you'll click on the color that you want, and boom. So it changes it, and then you can do this along the way. And honestly, the colors are endless. And you can do that and just make it all just one specific color. You can just do this part like brown, middle brown, and then going into light just to make it easy as well too. Cancel out of here. Let's just bring this out. Alright, so pretty much that is the process if you're going to be using Illustrator on an image to start doing your portraits for tufting for your rug. This is the process that you do, and this is really just like base thing. If you follow this, this is really all that you got a reference to. Like I mentioned, the only thing that you would have to do is just toggle the colors piece around, and it'll give you like a good outline that you can just be able to do for the most part. So it is simple when you start doing it more, but at first it definitely can seem a little bit intimidating, but I promise you it's not. It's really easy to learn, really just tracing it out and then just taking your time with it. I would say when you start to trace it out, I would just go ahead and hook up the projector to your laptop so it can show in your frame, and then that'll give you like better visual with drawing it out. Is it going to be too complex? Do you want to take down the colors and just start with something really simple? Or if the image works for you, then you can just go from there. And that is the Illustrator for doing your portraits. I hope this video helped you with you starting your portrait project. If it is anything that you want to learn a little bit further with doing so, just let me know. Comment. Definitely like and subscribe. I have more Tufting tutorials that I'll be doing, and then how to, so hopefully it can help you out if you want to do this as a side hustle, or if you just want to do this for fun. I'll see y'all in the next video. Hopefully this helped. Make sure y'all come back.